CBS Sports presents Star Sunday from the Daytona International Speedway, the Busch Clash, NCAA basketball. Number 1 Arizona faces 5th-ranked Oklahoma. The NBA live from the Astrodome. The NBA All-Star Game and All-Star Sunday on CBS Sports.
Next, a CBS Sports special presentation.
Racing is the truest test of speed, a test that can only be answered on the track. The truest race is a sprint, an all-out burst of speed from start to finish. And the preparation, whether racing on foot or in machines, is critical, because in a sprint, there's no time to make mistakes, no room for error. Today on CBS, the racetrack equivalent of the 100-yard dash, the fastest of the fast in the Busch Clash, a 20-lap, 50-mile, all-out sprint in the blink of an eye. It's a glorious day in Daytona. Sunny, clear, and balmy, a perfect day for a race. And I'm Chris Economaki, welcoming you to CBS's 1989 coverage of the Busch Clash. It's a very special race, and not because of the big money involved, but rather because of the way the drivers earned the right to start. All last year, at every race, and those alone on the track qualifying runs, one man was fastest, winner of the pole position. And today, all of those men are here, 13 strong, to find out just who is the fastest of the fast. Let's meet them. National champion Bill Elliott had a tough break Friday, broke his left wrist in 2 places. Bill, you up for 20 laps?
Well, I don't know. I'm going to run as long as I can and see how it feels. I feel like if I jeopardize any of the other drivers, I'm just going to come in.
Good luck to you, Bill. A man who's really got some momentum going for him, winner of 4 of the last 5 races, Rusty Wallace. The momentum still holding?
I believe so, Chris. I'm excited about starting the Busch Clash. It's an elite race to be in, and proud to be here.
Good luck, Rusty. Mark Martin, 11 years ago, he won his first racing championship at age 19. He's in the Clash. And then we have Morgan Shepherd. Last year he drove for 5 teams, and this year Morgan's got a car he can call his own. Rick Wilson, the only Floridian in the race. Rick, you got a lot of fans here rooting for you. Have a good drive. And then we have Alan Kowicki, the Wisconsin collegian whose career is really on the ascendancy. Dark glasses, Alan. And then Davey Allison, the son of the man who won the Daytona 500 last year, Bobby Allison. How's Bobby feeling, Davey?
Well, he's coming along real good, Chris, and he's up there watching us on TV today and got his fingers crossed for us.
Well, that's good. Good to see you, Davey. And then we have Rick Mast, the man who got lucky. Rick, a little bit strange for you up here. You ready for it?
Chris, I knocked 4 cars off the road coming to the racetrack this morning. I'm in the right frame of mind for this race.
There you go. And here's a man, a familiar name, but not really a familiar face. Jeff Bodine, you in the cough drop business now?
No, Bodine brother, not Smith brothers. I'm a Bodine brother, Chris. You're getting old.
Okay, there you go. It's fun. And here's Terry Labate, a former winner of the Clash, but this year in a Ford, drove a Chevy before. Like the car?
Sure do. It's running good.
Okay, have a good one, Terry. And then Darrell Walter, a man who we missed last year, playing Jack Benny. We'll probably talk victory later, Darrell.
I think so. All my crews are just going over now and set up a victory circle.
Okay, so. And here's Ricky Rudd, a man with a last-minute car change from a Buick Regal to a Buick LeSabre. Going to make a difference, Ricky?
Well, we hope so, Chris. We think this car is going to run a little bit better in traffic than, say, the car we had yesterday.
Well, good luck. And then the man who's been winning pole positions left and right, and so far this year, the fastest of the fast, Kenny Schrader. You getting used to these number 1 positions?
Well, we've been starting up here, Chris, and now we're going to work on finishing up here a little more.
That's the way. Okay, that's the field. So now let's go to the man who will call the action, my CBS broadcast colleague, Ken Squire.
Well, thank you, Chris, and it's a pleasure to be back here at the start-finish line once again to cover this exciting action as they're just about ready to give the command to fire the engines. The first event, stock car event of Speed Weeks 89, which culminates next Sunday with our live flag-to-flag coverage of the great American race, the Daytona 500, comes to life. Now, this race today can be as dramatic and can be as tense as anything in motorsport, and the ingredients are very, very simple. 13 cars ready to go, 13 drivers suited up out there, racing 50 miles for approximately 15 minutes. $230,000 at stake here today, and that money makes it the richest race per lap for all competitors in motor. Let's take a look at the money here. See those bonuses? That adds more to the competition. $10,000 at lap 5, $15,000 at the midway perk, and then another little perk of 10 grand at lap 15. Let's take a look at the track itself. If you're new to the Daytona Speedway, it's that old famed 2.5 miler, 31 degrees in the turns, 18 degrees right here at the start-finish line. As to the weather today, and this could be a factor, the wind has come up. They're saying 12 miles an hour, and in the past 15 or 20 minutes, that's changed. It's gusting right at this time to over 20 miles per hour, and I think that could be a factor with these new cars. The gentleman to talk to about that, it's an honor to have with us once again the two-time Winston Cup champion, Ned Jarrett.
Ken, this is the type of race when the green flag drops, you just put your foot to the floorboard, hold it wide open for 20 laps, and hope the car stays together. There are no pit stops. If the car's not set up perfectly, you got to live with it through these 20 laps. There is no strategy really involved in this race, excepting that if you're in the rear, you try to work your way to the front as quickly as possible. If you're in the front, of course, you try to keep everybody behind you. They've been testing and massaging these cars all winter, getting them ready for competition. Now, there are 8 General Motors cars in the field here today. They are competition tested because it's the same body designs they ran last year. So they should be able to set those cars up pretty well right. There are 5 Fords in the field, though, and they have not been tested in competition. They have a complete new body design for 1989. They don't know how they will react in the draft and when the air around the other cars starts falling around. So that'll be a point that we'll need to watch here this afternoon.
So stand by for the thrills and excitement of Winston Cup Racing, the Busch Clash, here on CBS.
The 1989 Busch Clash is sponsored by Busch Beer, the beer with a taste as smooth as its name. AT&T, the right choice. And by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately?
Imagine. Complete the first of 2 preliminary laps. Go quickly to pit road. Here's Mike Joy.
Thank you, Ken. I'm standing alongside Dale Earnhardt, 3-time Winston Cup champion, 3-time winner of this race. Didn't win a pole last year. You're not out there, but you've won this race more than anybody else. How's it done?
Well, it's done with a lot of patience, Mike. You got to get in the right place and then be there for the end. The carburetor place has made it a little bit different as far as drafting by on the last lap. You got to have a little help. I'd like to be in the lead on the last lap. It's going to be a real close race. You might have to pick Darrell Waltrip as a winner for the experience.
For experience, how about for those Goodyears? Is the only driver on them?
Well, he's on a proven product. The Hoosiers were made in January. They haven't been tested. They're fast. If they don't have any problem, they'll be tough to beat, but still, Darrell's on a proven product. If the tires hold out, Darrell will be there.
He's the defending winner. Ken?
All right, the field is down into turn number 1, and let's take another look at that starting grid. In the first position, making his second start in the Clash, the pole sitter for next Sunday's 500, Ken Schrader from Fenton, Missouri. Beside him, in his 6th Clash, is Ricky Rudd, who crashed so badly here in '84. Then starting third is Darrell Waltrip, the 1981 winner of this event, car 17. In the 4th position, Terry Labonte, his 8th straight appearance, won here in '85. Starting 5th will be Jeff Bodine. In 5 straight years, he's never been worse than 5th, but he's never won it. Then in 6th is the rookie, Rick Mass, who was the wild card choice out of Virginia. Starting 7th on the field, Davey Allison started his first Clash last year and finished 2nd. The 8th position is Alan Kowicki in the number 7 Ford, his 3rd straight start. Best finish has been 5th here. Starting 9th is another rookie, Wick Wilson, in that number 4 car. And in 10th is Morgan Shepherd, his 4th time in the Clash. 11th is Mark Martin making his 2nd appearance. That's with the car number 6 Ford, the Roush Ford. And then in 12th is car number 27, Rusty Wallace, his 4th straight start in the Clash. And yet to make a real impression, and out back is the guy who won it in '87, driving with badly bruised ribs, a broken wrist. Ready for a start, Bill Elliott from the shotgun spot.
And Ken, these starting positions were determined by a draw on Thursday here. They did not make a lap around the track in qualifying as they normally do. We're about ready to start.
A lady to drop the flag today, Helene Roberson, over 13 cars. It's 20 laps, 50 miles underway. First, wheel-to-wheel stock car action of Speed Weeks '89. Going to turn 1. Now watch the cars in 1, 3, and 5, all from the Hendrick Racing stable. Skipping down into that first turn goes Schrader. And it's expected that His teammates will lock up Waltrip and Bodine behind him. Terry Labonte slips in there into the third spot, moving Bodine back to fourth. A lot of people said those three Hendrick cars would make a run up in front and then decide it between themselves. Out of the back, you're watching car number 27 trying to make his move around Alan Kowicki. Already jumping by 2 cars is the number 27 of Rusty Wallace in the Pontiac. 5 Ford starting the race.
These cars in the back don't want to let the front pack get away from them if they can possibly help it can, because they are now almost out of the draft of that front 5 cars.
5 Fords, 4 Chevrolets, a Pontiac, an Olds, and a Buick competing here today. Largest contingent of Fords ever in the Busch Clash. And one of them now in third, number 11, Labonte.
Labonte has been very pleased with his Ford in testing here during the winter months and in qualifying yesterday for the Daytona 500. He was the 6th fastest, and he's proving right there in the thick of those 4 cars that the car apparently is handling well. You see it drift up just a little bit as he goes into the turn. Jeff Bodine pulls up on his bumper, but he is able to stay right in there and drafting, so the car must be handling well for him. That was one of the unknowns that we had coming into the race. How will the Ford draft?
Back into turn number 1. Waltrip perched on the back of Ken Schrader's number 25 that's on the pole for the 2nd straight year for the prestigious $1 million Daytona 500 next Sunday. Out of 2.
Ken, they just turned the last lap at over 197 miles an hour, a little bit faster than Ken Schrader ran yesterday to win the pole for next Sunday's Daytona 500.
Here's Rick Wilson down on the inside, scooting through cars with a number 4 as he tries to find himself some running room on the bottom of the racetrack. Gets himself into the 8th position.
You can see how far away the front 5 cars have pulled from the second pack of cars as they jockeyed for position, some of them running side by side back there for a couple of moments, and it allowed the front 5 to pull away.
And Ricky Rudd has fallen from 2nd to 12th in the first 4 laps in that Kenny Bernstein car.
That's surprising. I thought he would run better than that, but as Chris Economac pointed out at the top of the show, they decided to go with the LeSabre as opposed to the Buick Regal, and maybe it's just not handling right. Here's Waltrip trying to make a move.
Waltrip to the inside and number 17 won it from the pole back in 81, and he's there. Bodine coming with him.
He almost needed the help of Jeff Bodine to the draft to push him on out, but once Bodine got up there, he couldn't move around.
3 Chevrolets in front and a couple of Fords side by side in 4th and 5th. 194 mile per hour average. Remember, the fastest Busch Clash ever was an average speed of 197 miles per hour by Bill Elliott.
Now that last lap, Ken, was slower than the ones they'd run before because of the pass that was made.
Here's Waltrip out in front. He has led in 6 Busch Clashes. He has been in every one of them but one. And he has earned the most money, too, over the years in the Busch Clash. Including pole position money, something like $337,000 in total Busch money. Now to the inside, here is Bodine in the 5, and this cars will slow them down and give an advantage to the cars running single file a little further back, trying to make their way back up in there, led by Morgan Shepherd in the number 75.
Now Jeff Bodine did have the help of Davey Allison running behind him, but now Davey has decided to go with the other 3 and is going to put Bodine sort of in a position there. Now they're running side by side, but they were about to all draft past him.
Davey Allison, who started 9th in his first performance just 1 year ago and came home 2nd in this race. Now there you see the number 75, the Morgan Shepherd car, currently shown as 6. Now those are the top 5, the drivers up in those lead positions here, with 5 of 20 laps complete, and the first $10,000 prize goes to Darrell Waltrip. He was ecstatic about qualifying outside of the front row alongside Schrader for next Sunday's 500. At Ford, number 11, the Junior Johnson car. Junior Johnson has had a car in every Busch Clash, and he's won it twice.
He's the only car owner that can claim that feat, but that's proof that he builds fast race cars.
See if we can get a thought from Chris Economaki. He's watching this from the Victory Lane area. Chris, your reaction to the first 5 laps of this event?
Well, I'm interested that every car in this race is on Hoosier tires but one, and the one car not on Hoosier tires is Darrell Waltrip's number 17. He's on Goodyear's, and this may be the difference in this race today. Right now, Waltrip is on his way to being the all-time big money winner in the Busch Clash. Back to you, Ken.
No one has ever won this race, Chris, wall-to-wall, flag-to-flag, even though we've had a couple of winners from the pole, one of them being Darrell Waltrip in 81 and Bill Elliott. They've always had to contend for it. Waltrip had fallen back to third the year he won it, then came back on to win, and we've already seen that one lead change here today. Schrader not able to sustain from the point.
And now, Ken, that backpack of cars is beginning to close in a little bit on those front runners as they were running side by side. You mentioned the fact that might allow them to catch up. Jeff Bodine has lost the draft of the front running cars.
Now there is that second pack. In the 5th position is Bodine, and then number 75 is in 6th. Morgan Shepherd followed by Rusty Wallace, who started tailgating the field with Bill Elliott.
I'm a little surprised that Bill Elliott has stayed out there that long. Having to drive with just one hand, he's still running in the 13th position where he started the race, not taking any chances, but he did demolish the car that he originally planned to run in the Busch Clash. So the car that he's racing here today is the one that he'll run in the Daytona 500. It's the only other one that he has left down here, so he has to be very careful with it.
Here come the front four. Here comes a move by Schrader as he looks to the inside. He's going to try to take that lead back and does so. And the Ford tags along. Chevrolet first, number 11, Ford Thunderbird of Junior Johnson. And here comes Davey Allison to the inside.
Waltrip's car really went high in the turn, Ken. I'm not sure if he had a problem or if he just slipped a little bit and they took advantage of it.
And the second cluster of cars continues to close in on that lead pack as they come through the tri-oval. The action of the Busch Clash, intense here in 1989, and we'll be back with more in a moment.
Everyone knows Dristan nasal spray starts to work fast, but just how fast?
Faster than doubling the cash register for $15,000, leading at the midway point, but only by one car length. His Chevrolet separated from the Junior Johnson Ford. Here you see Terry Labonte in the number 11, in second place and closing once again. Remember that Labonte started 4th in this race, the winner of this race in 1985. A preview of the Daytona 500, the Great American Race, which you'll see live, flag to flag, next Sunday on CBS. Here is Bodine in the number 5 car in 5th. There you see Morgan Shepherd in 6th, and there was a little trickle of smoke the last time in the back straightaway it was reported.
Shepherd just moving right on around Jeff Bodine with the greatest of ease.
Whatever that smoke was, it's not bothering. Now you have a Chevrolet first, and Ford's running second and third, Chevrolet fourth. And here comes that 5th place car, the number 75 of Morgan Shepherd. He continues to hang on out there. Let's take a look at how they're running after 10 of 20 laps complete to the entire field. There are the front 5, Bodine in 5th at 10 laps. There's the second 10. Morgan then was 6. Rick Wilson, Wallace, Alan Kowicki out back. Bill Elliott staying out here and trailing the field. That's one of the grittiest performances I've seen. Just 2 days ago, crashed at 195 miles an hour. Why didn't break his leg? He badly bruised it, bruised his ribs, broke his wrist, and came out here yesterday and was the 3rd fastest car in qualifying among some 50 for next Sunday's Daytona 500, and went back to the hospital last night. There was a question of whether or not they'd even have him around here today. He's out there and still running at 190 miles per hour, plus one-handed, right in the groove all the time, so precise. Elliott. I talked to Ernie Elliott. I said, you must feel some pressure too. He said, oh, we just lost a car. We'll go back and get another one and start again.
Ken, we have mentioned the fact that Darrell Waltrip was the only driver who started on Goodyear tires. Now he has dropped back to 4th place and has lost the draft of the first 3 cars. In fact, you can see that Jeff Bodine, who has moved back into 5th place, is moving in on Darrell Waltrip.
And here comes Allison moving around the outside of Terry Labonte. Mike Joy has a word with Dale Earnhardt.
Dale Earnhardt watching this lead pack go past will get him to critique the front cars. Kenny Schrader, do you see him winning this?
I can. He run off a strong by himself in practice. you know, I think Darrell's made the wrong choice on tires. The Hoosiers look like they're sticking a lot better. And if Davey and Labonte keep, scrambling up there, it's going to give Kenny a shot at getting away from them.
Of the two Fords, who has the best chance here?
Well, I think it looks like they're about equal, but Labonte's car looks like it handles a little better.
That's the word from the defending winner of this race.
Dale Earnhardt, who walled the Richard Childress car, and he and the Elliott incident brought around a change of rubber. Goodyear dropping the radial tire, going back to the bias ply after Waltrip grazed number 3, and then the car number 9 of Elliott was savaged in turn 4 2 days ago. Ken Schrader, second performance here. Watching now Bodine being challenged by Rick Wilson, the rookie who's come up to 6. Rusty Wallace in 7th, Mark Martin in 8th, Morgan Shepherd currently in 9th. Up in front is Schrader.
And he just picked up another $10,000 bonus, Ken, so that's $25,000 in bonus money that Ken Schrader has already picked up here this afternoon. Not a bad drive.
First time he ran was a year ago, started 3rd and finished in 7th in this race. Looking much stronger today. There you see the Bodine car, number 5, in 5th. Wilson right there with him in 6th. Meanwhile, look at this battle.
A good battle up front, and we saw that Rick Wilson was right on the back bumper, here they are, of Jeff Bodine. It seems that the Oldsmobile is a good car to be running behind another car to help them in the draft, and it seems to be pushing Jeff Bodine towards the front.
There you see the top 5 after 15 laps. Let's get a comment from the editor-publisher of the National Speed Sport News, Chris Economaki.
Well, I'm wondering if Ken Schrader is going to be able to hold that up there. A lot of these drivers use a bit of strategy. Despite the all-out nature, there may be some action between now and the checkered flag.
Last caution-free race, Chris, was 1982. They've torn up some equipment in the course of the days of this Busch Clash just a week prior to the Daytona 500. Here's Schrader staying first. Chevrolet 1. Ford's 2 and 3. Laps running down. $230,000 at stake for a 15-minute sprint. Next week, it's all-out war among 40 competitors. This is the second largest field in this race. There were 16 cars in 83 when Neil Bonnet came home to win it from 15th starting spot. We've had 2 fields, this and one other, with 13 cars.
A moment ago when Terry Labonte and Davey Allison raced side by side for about a half a lap, Ken Schrader was able to move out. It looked like almost 100 yards, but once they got back in single file, they were able to draft back up to him. He's got to be sitting there wondering, what are these guys going to do now? They've caught me. They're sitting here on my back row. Are they going to wait till that last lap, team up and move around me? I expect that's what they do have in mind.
Waltrip's hopes on the decline. He's back to 8th. Here's the front 3. $50,000 in the shakeout here very shortly. Fastest race, 1987, Elliott at 197.8 miles per hour. Trickling down to 2 laps to go. Schrader looking to put his name in the record book, and here comes Allison. Both of these drivers in their second performance in the Busch Clash, the tune-up. An opportunity to see how these cars really work, really run when you put them out side by side and nose to tail at full speed.
Well, they get the white flag this time around. Davey Allison made just a little bit of a test going down the backstretch that last time to see if he could pass on the outside. We'll see if he really can do it. I don't think he'll make the move, Ken, until they start down the backstretch. We'll see now as they head into turn 1.
Okay, the dollars are down. This is it to decide the Busch Clash 1989, and you're watching Ken Schrader from Fenton, Missouri, Alabama's Allison, and Texas Terry Labonte scrap it out here this afternoon.
Well, the famous Cale Yarborough slingshot work on the last lap. He needs to make the move pretty quickly.
Schrader throwing a bit of a block midway down that back straightaway, now eases into 3. Here they come. Harold Kinder has checkers in hand, ready to decide the Busch Clash 89. 3 competitors are up there, out of 4 and down to the line. To the inside comes Allison. Schrader holding on. Here they come at the stripe. Kenny Schrader out of Missouri makes it 2 perfect days on the pole yesterday. For the Daytona 500, he comes back and wins the Busch Clash this afternoon. How's that?
The 2 Fords just simply couldn't muscle enough power to draft past him. They just couldn't make a real run at him.
Engine builder Randy Dorton for car number 25, car owner Rick Hendrick and his dad, Papa Joe Hendrick. And they've had a perfect start to Speed Weeks 89 at Daytona. They're on the pole for the $1 million Daytona 500 next Sunday. And they've just beaten 12 other very top runners here today in the Busch Clash. Slowing down, he'll be in victory lane to meet Chris Economaki in just a moment. An outstanding effort by Hendrick Racing, placing cars first, third, and fifth as they started, and coming back to win it here. We'll meet Ken Schrader in a moment.
You know, there are a lot of places where you can look for an auto part, but here is where you'll find it. Napa. We've got your part. In fact, we have more than 125,000 parts available. Napa has parts for imports and other hard-to-find parts, and at the right prices. So don't waste time looking anyplace else. Come to Napa first. We've got your part.
When you fly in United, you're probably not aware of the 60,000 professionals working to make your trip easy, or the way our new advanced terminals speed you on your way. Just as when you use the American Express card, you're not really thinking about all the services that make frequent business flyers rated best for travel and entertainment. You don't notice these things because they're there, but you would notice them if they weren't.
Winter's beautiful. She's just not real friendly sometimes. The days get shorter, the cold makes things kind of brittle, and the boys, well, they just get uglier. But come nightfall, when the fire gets hot, you still get thirsty. Busch. Winter's not so bad.
Head for the mountains of Busch Beer.
Arizona, Oklahoma. The new #1 ranked Wildcats battle last week's top-ranked Sooners today on an All-Star Sunday on CBS Sports.
At the World Center of Speed, we've seen plenty of it just now, averaging 192.926 miles per hour. Ken Schrader comes home victorious today here in the Busch Clash. Here's the finish one more time as they came to the line.
The Ford of Davey Allison tried to make a move on the inside, but he just simply couldn't muscle enough power to do it, and Ken Schrader came home the winner.
Ford in second and third. Chevrolet wins it. And let's now join with the winner, who's standing by in victory lane, an excited Ken Schrader, who's pulled off a great victory here today. Here's Chris.
And here are the winners, Ken Schrader and his lovely wife, Ann. Ken, we watched it on the tube. Was that a pass of Darrell Walter planned, or did you grab it because you saw the opportunity at the moment?
Chris, I was asking the crew what they want me to do, but it seemed like Darrell was slowing down a little bit. I know that Davey and Labonte were right on me, and I just thought that I need to get around Darrell, otherwise I was going to wind up being in fourth.
Kenny, every driver in the race is in their first race of the year. Now, you've been running midgets, sprint cars, super modifieds. How many times have you raced since January 1st?
This is only like our fifth race, but we managed to get another 4 in them months while everybody was sitting in, about 10 testing days, Chris.
Okay, Andy, we watched you watching there. What were you thinking of when this thing was going on? The money?
Well, we did remind him of the money laps, but I think we just wanted to have a good, safe race and have a good finish, and the guys did great. We had a good one.
Well, you're a nurse. What kind of heartbeat and pulse rate does he have after one like this?
Actually, he's fairly calm. He's worse by beforehand.
Okay. How close to the wall did you come? It looked like he may have touched it.
I don't really know, Chris. When Jeff got up beside me, the cars got moving around a little bit. I thought I might have grazed her one time, but, I knew if I gave up that position, I was in big trouble. So, we just held our ground and hoped for it.
Okay, you're on Hoosiers. What did you learn today that might help you next Sunday in the 500?
Well, I learned it, it's going to be a strategy game like it's been the last races with the restrictor plate, because you just can't pull out and pass anytime you want. Our car was a little too tight, so we think we got some speed left.
So in other words, you've got to really gauge what the car can do for you with its restrictor plates, huh? Dictates how you drive, I gather.
It really does, for sure. It's so hard to pass. All the cars are evenly matched.
Okie doke, fine. That's it from Victory Land. We'll be back for an overview on the Busch Clash after these important messages.
Great meeting.
Super presentation.
The new report would have been nice, but I don't think they missed it.
Oh, no, me neither.
With all the problems you face at work, your office equipment shouldn't be one of them.
Love your time.
Rico, we don't let your office get in the way of your business. Many men have sensitive skin that's irritated by shaving. Aftershave Skin Conditioner is clinically